So you're in the middle of a global pandemic. The world is falling apart around you. What do you do? And most important, what do you drive? Well, today we're going to show you the Apocalypse Beetle. 1, 2, 3. Hey everybody, welcome back to What It's Like to Drive. I'm your host, VIP Primo. I am going to apologize up front. I know this is our first episode, yes, our first episode of What It's Like to Drive this year. Unfortunately, with current events right now, with the world ending and all, we couldn't actually get anything to put together. A lot of people did cancel on us to bring their cars out, and for good reason. These cars are here. They're going to be able to drive them, so we were definitely patient, put everything together, and then brought you one of the great shows. But that is what makes this vehicle perfect for our first show. Welcome, the Apocalypse Beetle. This car is made up to be Mad Max. It's got a lot of steampunk features to it. There's a lot of stuff here that you're not going to be able to see how much went into this. The machine gun's in the top there. It's going to have a rotating beam on it. These right here, the missiles on it, actually have a rotation. I'm going to try to get as much of this car as I possibly can, but it may be impossible to get everything. This might be a car that you will have to see at a show at some point. But our job today is not to go over the car that way. Our job today is first to find out what it's like to drive, what it costs to build a vehicle like this, and lastly, what it costs to maintain a vehicle like this. And what are the driving conditions? You know, how is this car to drive on the road? I have to say, this is the first time I've ever been really afraid to drive a car. There's not a lot of visibility in it. It's a very rough setup. This is going to be interesting. But we're going to check it out right now. All right, guys, welcome to the inside of this bug. Like, this thing is apocalypse waiting to happen. Like, it is enclosed. The hood, the roof is like right here. The pedals are tight together. It feels like it wants to kill me. And in fact, it already has tried to kill me once, but I lived through it, which is good. So if the end of the world does happen, I'm ready for it. Everybody is staring at us. Like, it's funny, we've gotten everything from laughs to, I don't know if you guys seen Chris before. Chris has been on the show. This is his car, so he is no stranger to this, but we're getting laughs, we're getting everything, we're getting the whole kit and caboodle. So everybody's staring at me right now to get moving, so I'm gonna get dude trying to pull this.
Okay.
Oh, e-brake.
Yeah, you got to take that off.
E-brake off. That's probably important. I'm in first now. We're good. Okay, so. Okay.
Okay.
I am on the open road now.
First. Might be better.
Okay. Okay, so I feel like I'm. Oh, bump, 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 bump. I'm shifting. Oh, I did that. Oof. We have run aground already. Oh yeah, it's getting nuts in here. Was that bad?
That's alright.
Did the brakes work? By the way, they're regular brakes. They're not hydraulic or anything. There's no power assist here, so. There we go. This thing scares the piss out of me. Oh my god, this is such a learning curve. I can't find the gear. Why is it not going into first? Oh, there we go. You got to get used to this. I have to say it's a lot of fun, but it's going to be a lot of getting used to. Okay. I'm like scrunched down because the view place from where I'm looking at is like,
Yeah,
bang, bang. That's first. Okay, cool. I figured it out. The first gear is not where it's supposed to be.
It's not. It's where it's supposed to be on a bug.
Right. The coolest thing is the rear view mirror. everything's all archaic, and then you get to the rearview mirror and it's all like tech. Okay, so oh, I found it. Okay, good. See, I'm telling you, it's coming to me. Okay, so to go back, this car isn't for everybody. It takes a lot of getting used to. I am paying attention to every spot on the road. The blinkers don't untap. It's like you got to do everything yourself. Oh, that was smooth. I actually get a good shift there. We're gonna try another one. We just passed an officer and he was just like all into this thing. But no, usually I'm talking. You got to pay a ton of attention to what you're doing in the car and how you're driving. I'm sure if you knew what you were doing and you were driving this for a while, it would probably be a lot easier to get used to where the gear shifts are. I am more afraid of hitting the ground and scraping stuff right now, so I am like directly attentive to that. So, but yeah, just gonna say it like this: very unruly, very like. I don't want to say the word inhospitable. This car wants to fight you, but it fights you, and I'm really having a lot of fun with it. But yeah, I'm just gonna say it again, not for everybody. If you're this is specifically for a person that enjoys a certain style of vehicle that's just not like anything else. Oh, I got it. Oh, there we go. I'm getting it. Once you get used to seeing the rearview mirror and seeing the road and the limited amount of space you have, you really start getting into the groove of it, and then it starts becoming easy. Like, see, now I'm shifting fine, paying less attention to the road. This thing really scared me when I first got into it, but now I'm really having a lot of fun with it, and I don't know, I'm starting to want to suggest stuff like this to people. I've always wanted to have something like this, but it's, you know, this is the kind of thing that there's a good reason to be afraid to get into it, because it's really a wake-up call to how you want to drive it. If Okay, so that's my harrowing drive. You can see Chris is laughing his ass off right now, because this is what he does all the time. He'll drive this to our meet tonight and have like a ton of fun. Me, he's sitting here watching me piss myself, and he's all excited about it. So we're here. I'm ready to review this thing. I hope you guys enjoy. Get ready. I'm stuck. It won't let me out. Oh, look at that. Okay, I'm good. Okay, so what is it like to drive? Well, it's rough. It drags. It tried to kill me. What else? It bumps a lot. We had one big bang in there that actually scared the life out of me. It's very close to your head. It's tight. The spaces are just, I don't know, it's intolerable. It is a very tough car to drive. Shifting is difficult. You have to get accustomed to it. It doesn't have a power assist brake. And with all that being said, it's probably the funnest car I've ever driven. It's such a guilty pleasure. It's one of those things that it's a lot of people would say it's not a car I want to own. It's a car I want to drive. And it is a perfect example of a car that is better than any Cobra kit car you could ever pick up. Any of that stuff. It is just an unruly beast that just wants to go hog wild and have fun. It is a huge attention getter. We had people taking pictures, people smiling, people laughing. I have never had a cacophony of responses to a vehicle like I've had with this thing. And I have to say, it was really fun to do. And the best part about this car is it's actually street legal. It has has all the working things that it needs: a working horn, turn signals, the whole 9 yards. And if you can actually see, it has an inspection sticker on it, so it actually passed inspection. So, and there's no shock. I mean, when you're driving it, everything is there. I didn't feel unsafe in the vehicle. I felt really like crazy fun. And the thing was, is I was actually like kind of shocked because there's not a lot of space to view out of this, and when you first get in it, you feel compacted into the space. But once you're in it, it kind of feels like a normal car. It didn't feel cramped. It didn't feel like I was falling apart. It didn't feel like I was losing visibility. One thing that was added to this car that I think is the best thing in here is it has a rear view mirror that actually has a backup camera in it and a forward camera. So there really was no possibility of me missing anything on the road. It was just a lot of fun, and I have to say, I really enjoyed driving this vehicle, and I hope to get to drive it again. Okay, so how much would it cost to build something like this? Not as much as you'd expect. So making an offer per se on just a bug body or something like that, I mean, you could probably find them anywhere from $500 to $1,500. You want to find something obviously solid. I know this may look rusty, but it's not. It's very well put together. It's a solid vehicle, and with these, you want to find something that's solid. You don't want to find something that's going to fall apart, because obviously safety is a concern down the road. So, but all said and done, $5,000 to $10,000 depending on what you did to your car and how much you wanted to do similar to this one. There is a lot that's gone into this, a lot of technical stuff. I'm hoping that a lot of the pictures will get it, but in the reality is that there really isn't that much stuff to do. It's a Volkswagen Bug, so it's a car that you can get into, do a lot of research. There is a huge Volkswagen population out there that loves these cars, that just lives off them and talks about how to upgrade them, make power with them, do whatever you want to them. There's a huge group of people that support aftermarket stuff, even these older things. So if this is a kind of car that you want to get into just as an aftermarket piece, there's a lot to get out of this, and there's a huge group that's going to be out there ready to put their words in and get you to the other side. So this is a good project. Any Volkswagen project I would support. The thing with this one is it may be something a little bit too much for you. So if this is too much for you, I understand. You can go a little bit more conservative with it, be a little bit more less aftermarket with it. And Volkswagen Bugs are fun to do. So that's the thing is think about a Bug. They're a great car. Okay, so lastly, what is the maintenance like on this? I know it seems like a lot, but it's a Volkswagen Beetle. So how much can the maintenance be? A lot of the things on this is a little bit more done up than what you're used to. You're going to see the artwork on this car, the dynamics that's done with this. There's some other concerns that he has and things that he looks out for. Most of those are driving conditions, though. The style of the vehicle, you have to make sure that you're not hitting certain potholes in the driving dynamic itself. This thing does run aground a lot, so it's something you have to get used to, and it really is watching out for the road conditions that are going to put you in those positions to have it. But otherwise, those little things that we hit, even though it made me jump and I was scared for my life that I had broke something, in reality, if you put it together really well, you won't have much of a concern with that, and things won't need to be replaced as much. If you don't do the right work and you don't put in the love the way you need to, you might actually have to put in a lot more love to make this car, I guess you could say, user friendly. But otherwise, do your oil changes, do your other stuff. And I mean, we say this all the time, but this is another vehicle. I mean, access to engine here. Do your own oil changes. These are air-cooled cars, totally different monster. The joy of getting into these things is really doing the work yourself and turning the wrenches yourself. Obviously, with paint and some other work, you're going to need help. But do as much as you can by yourself. And like I said, there's always people out there willing to support you in the community that want to make sure that your car succeeds and looks as good as theirs. So is this a car I would suggest for the normal commuter? No. The driving conditions on this are really low. It is not a car that you're going to want to daily drive. It's not a car that, it's going to be a weekend warrior. It's going to be for that pandemic when it happens and the world falls apart. If you need something to take care of zombies, you have a car to take care of zombies. But and go to shows and show it off. I mean, if you love attention, this is your car all day long. But for the most part, like I said, drive it as much as you can, love it as much as you can. But the thing is you're going to want to have something that's going to be able to get you through your commute regularly, especially if you commute long distances. But yeah, that's the unfortunate thing. So yeah, driving conditions is low, but interior wise, it felt really good. The interior was not out of place. The shift points on it, you just got to get used to where everything is at. The mirror on it, like I was saying before, the mirror that's in the center there, I didn't have any problems seeing around the vehicle. It's a really small vehicle, so you know it's not hard to look around. And then the ports that you're looking out of the nose here, it may look tight, but it wasn't really that bad. So I'm sure there are going to be some tall guys out there. They're going to be like, no chance that you'd ever fit into this. And the reality is you're probably right. But that thing is I'm 5'10", and I had no problem sitting in it, no problem driving whatsoever. So for the weekend warrior, for the car show, and obviously for the end of the world, this is your car. So that was the thing is everybody told me that if you're ever going to do a show, and if you're even any sort of car guy, that you have to have driven a Volkswagen Beetle in your life. I can now chalk it up to say I've now driven a Volkswagen Beetle. And not only a Volkswagen Beetle, but probably the coolest Volkswagen Beetle on the planet. And I am ready for any apocalypse you guys can throw at me. Thank you guys for coming out. Thank you guys for checking out the show. I want to thank Chris again for showing us another great car. I can't say enough about his craftsmanship, his ability to do stuff. You guys check him out. We have some other videos that I'm going to put in the description below to show you some of his handiwork. Guy's incredible, so I love all this stuff. I want to thank him again for having us to come out. I want to thank you guys for checking us out. Remember, check out these other videos. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that bell icon, and we're going to be on the search for the next awesome car to show you what it's like to drive.